thank you so much for joining us today. I'm Andrea Marquez. I'm the host of Amazon's award-winning podcast called This is Small Business. And with me today is Kevin from Playtime Edventures. Thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you so much, Andrea. I appreciate it.
So, just for everyone to know what our goal for today, this conversation is, we want to learn, of course, about Playtime Edventures. We want to learn about your journey as an entrepreneur. But something that I've learned from speaking to over 200 sellers is they would love to have a best of both worlds situation where they're able to grow and scale a successful business while at the same time find a way to give back, to have an impact in their community or in the world. And you've been able to do that through Playtime Edventures. So I want to dig into that, and that's one of our goals for today. But let's start at the beginning. What is Playtime Edventures?
So Playtime Edventures is a manufacturing company. We design and manufacture interactive bedding for children's hospitals, organizations that provide safe beds for displaced kids, and first responders.
How did this come to be? What was the idea behind Playtime Edventures initially?
So I had a friend whose son was sick in the hospital, and I went to go visit. On the way there or the way home, I was thinking how that could be my wife and I, and what would we do in that situation. I thought about my wife in regards to our room was small, and we had a bed that we utilized as a desk, right? She would use it to play board games and so forth. And I thought, you know, the hospital is really the same setup. It's a room with a bed, and although that bed is made for healing, it can also feel like a confinement, right? What can we do to magically transform that bed? So I thought, what if we print games on the sheets? So I went home, did a poor man's search. Adult stuff came up, but nothing for kids.
Yeah.
So that was my aha moment. I was talking to my mom, who's a retired school teacher, and I said, hey Mom, I got this idea. I want to put tic-tac-toe and checkers on bed sheets. And her being an educator, she said, well, you know, you better put some educational components on there as well. But I wasn't the smart one in the family. So I
highly doubt that.
Oh, no. So I was the creative one, but I wasn't the smart one. But she introduced me to some great teachers, and over a 2-year period of research and developing, we created these interactive bed sheets that encourage kids to play, learn, sleep, but most importantly, heal on.
I need to give you kudos for not getting distracted by the announcement behind you. But you said that it was 2 years of R&D. At this point, did you have a full-time job? Were you already doing this fully?
I did. I had a full-time job.
Okay, so you were doing this on the side. Was it a passion project for you?
It was an emotional reason for me to create these bed sheets. But my full-time job, I created the in-room hotel channel for Charlotte. So when you check into a hotel room in Charlotte, I was the one that provided the content that told you where to go eat at, the best places for nightlife and attractions and so forth. So that was my full-time job.
And at what point, so you're doing this full-time job while doing R&D for Playtime Edventures. At what point in Playtime Edventures did you say, oh, this is a real thing. I'm going all in. This is growing more than I thought it would.
So I stopped getting sleep, and I realized that one of them, I had to give one up. And Hotel TV was local, but Playtime Edventures is national and international. So it made sense for me to transition, and that's what I did.
What do you think was the biggest challenge in getting there?
Lack of knowledge. Lack of knowledge. I mean, you know, so for me, I don't know about you guys, but do I look like the person who would create interactive bed sheets for children?
I mean, if you're asking me.
I don't.
I don't know, like, what would you say that person looks like? I think you do look like that person.
So the individual who purchases my bed sheets in my family was my wife. I never purchased bed sheets. I never understood or had to understand how colors relate to children, what textiles, what fabrics to choose. That was not in my wheelhouse, right? I produced commercials, I did martial arts, I lifted a lot of weights and screamed real loud when I did it. So I was far away from my element. So I had to learn. I had to learn textiles. I had to learn the psychology behind colors and blending those colors, you know, for a hospital setting. I had to learn logistics. I had to speak a little bit of Mandarin. I had to, you know, there was so much that I just had to learn.
And Kevin, what is Playtime Edventures main customer here? Is it hospitals?
So our main customer in the beginning was hospitals. We've now expanded, right? Amazon was a big part of that expansion, but we now provide our interactive bedding to first responders, our disposable, right? So if there's a service call, a first responder shows up and there's children present, they use our disposable along with some other curated tools to keep those children distracted, right? So we've kind of expanded with our product. And then Amazon showed us that our product was just what the doctor ordered for kids at home as well. So that created another opportunity for us to expand our product into the retail environment as well.
And the reason I wanted to know who your main customer is, because when I asked you about the challenges that you had, you spoke a lot about the product itself and understanding how it impacted kids and what they're able to do with the product itself, right? Was it difficult to get your product in hospitals, in the hands of the people who would then get it to the kids?
It was. You know, again, I didn't know the sales cycle of a hospital. I didn't know that, yeah, these are great sheets, but it's going to have to go through material management, infectious disease control.
Of course, yeah.
Right? There's standards and regulations for hospitals, right? I just thought, hey, these kids need these sheets now and here. But there was a big learning curve in regards to learning about hospitals and how they regulate the products for their patients.
And while you were figuring this out, is this where you started thinking, like, where else could this go if not hospitals first? Or it was just like a really intense goal that you wanted to be in hospitals first?
So that's a great question. I think for us, COVID showed us that there were some other opportunities. We were 100% hospital play. And then when COVID hit and the hospital shut down, we went out of business because we were such a hospital play. And then the BBA program with Amazon contacted us and asked us to be on the marketplace. They held our hand, they created our content, told our story, really taught us about another demographic. Our sheets are just what the doctor ordered for kids at home as well, right? So we kind of were able to parlay that until the hospitals came back online and started purchasing our product.
And through all of this, at what point were you able to say that you were in a comfortable position with the business and you were starting to see break even, grow?
Yeah, I'd say after COVID.
After COVID.
Right.
So
right.
2020?
Yeah, 2020 we started to level off. We also introduced team building. So we were partnering with corporations. Corporations have a social responsibility.
Yeah.
They align with what our sheets are all about. So we were able to partner with them, create this assembly line, make it interactive, and then provide these products not only to the hospitals, but also to first responders. So I like to say that we came together as a village in regards to the children in our community. So that's been a great experience, but it also created another stream of income as well.
So tell me a little bit about how you were able to use Amazon in this situation. So do you go yourself personally to these hospitals, or do you find that they're the ones ordering in the Amazon store for Playtime Edventures?
Well, we found out before, we were going directly to the hospitals and going to trade shows and such. What Amazon did is, the way I found out that hospitals were purchasing our product is because I would see like an order of 70 units go out. And then I would go look at the address and I would see it went to a hospital. We also had a program where, let's say an individual for whatever reason couldn't afford our sheets and they were just requesting our sheets, we would donate our sheets. So even on the Amazon platform we have, because of your purchase, we're able to donate our sheets to various organizations, right? So Amazon made us go wide instead of just me being the microphone, you know, telling individuals about our product. So we were able to get our product out not only to more homes, but also to more hospitals as well, and individuals who may have a family member in the hospital and they just want to send some sheets there.
That's amazing. And I already know a lot about this product, Playtime Edventures, which is amazing. And if you haven't checked it out, I encourage you all to do so. But I think it's a great point here for you to tell us a story or a moment where you've seen your product being used or you've seen the impact that it has, so that our audience here understands just how impactful this product is for these kids.
So recently, there's been two situations. There was a first responder we were talking with, and he shared how he went to a service call, and two adults were, bickering and so forth, but he noticed that there were children in the background. So his partner went to the car to get a kit, took it into the house to give to the child, and when the adults saw that, it changed the energy of the situation. So instead of having to tell one of the adults to leave, they actually apologized to the first responders. That's pretty cool. I was on the phone about a month ago with a hospital that was doing a reorder, and she shared how they had a child who was just distraught, didn't want to be there. They were having a hard time getting him to the exam room. So what they did is they finally got him to the exam room, and they had the sheets on the bed. And when they pointed to the sheets, changed the energy. So he went from crying and distraught to, ooh, wee, ran over to the sheets, started playing on the sheets. Our sheets come with crayons and cars, our disposables. So she was sharing that that's very important because sometimes they have to sedate kids, which creates a longer process for them being in the hospital. So for them, it's a way to lower the anxiety, the stress, the fear, and all the things that go with a visit to the hospital. Not just for them, but for us as well. So I may come out with adult sheets, I don't know.
What does it mean to you to be able to do this every day?
It's gratifying for our team. I mean, we created our sheets with a mission, and our goal is to make sure we get them to where they need to be, right? So when we get that gratification from individuals that our sheets are doing what they're supposed to do, that's the fuel that keeps us going.
And I feel like I have this next question for you, but I cannot see a world where you would get any skepticism on this or any pushback. But have you received any pushback, any skepticism on the product?
Yeah.
You have? From who? Give me a list right now.
Yeah, so I remember I would do trade shows when I first started, and I'd be standing at the booth. Number one, people wouldn't stop until I left the booth because they thought I was security. So they didn't attach me with the product. But I would sometimes hear comments because you can draw on our sheets, and in the hospital, that's a need. That keeps them busy.
Yeah.
But at home, you moms would say, well, that's just going to teach my kid to draw on everything else.
Now. Yeah, of course.
I would also hear comments in regards to, well, that's going to keep my kid up. I need my kid to go to bed. But we have psychiatrists who helped us design the sheets, and the reality is that little device, that TV, that bright light, those loud sounds, that's what keeps your kids up. Now, if your child wants to stay up and learn some Mandarin, play some games that make them smarter, well, I'm not going to be mad at that. But yeah, so in the hospital, it's a need.
Right.
In the retail environment, we had to cater the message so we don't show the crayons. We don't tell them they can play with crayons because it's a want in the house. It's not a need in the house. So it's just different messaging. And Amazon has been great with that because we can do that through that platform, from an educational standpoint.
Right. So the messaging is different, and you do have to do a little of education here as well, right?
Not really, not at this point, because I think what we do, we get a lot of press, when we do an event. And I think that press carries over into the retail world. And I think parents just get it at this point in what we're trying to accomplish. In regards to kids need to stop watching so much TV. They need to stop playing those electronic devices, surround them with educational or positive affirmational type stuff. Our sheets have over 65 interactive games. They have 5 different languages.
You can learn Mandarin on one of them?
Mandarin, French, Spanish, sign language, and of course English.
That's crazy. That's amazing. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah, so we created a big montage so kids would always see something that would catch their eye. And then the games that we have are multi-outcome, and we did that on purpose. In the hospital, you want kids to be able to play a game over and over, be it one person or multiple person. So the flat sheet is an oversized game board with positive affirmations, shapes and colors. The instructions to play each game is located right next to the game. And then we created it to where you don't need game pieces. You can play with coins or paper, what mom would have in her purse at the hospital.
Wow,
so it doesn't get obsolete.
Wow. And okay, so I want to dig into how you're able to balance, because you do mention that you're able to give back through Playtime Adventures. How do you balance scaling, making money for the company, just simply put, while at the same time being able to give back?
It's hard.
Donating. I mean, of course it is. That's why we have these conversations, right?
You know, every day you just try to, I think as you get older, your entrepreneurial endeavors change, and what was important, you know, 5, 10 years, 6 years ago has changed now.
Give me an example of that.
You know, I think when I first started, I was counting zeros. Now I'm counting the effect, right? What effect are we having in the community, right? So I think you just kind of evolve in regards to, and in that evolution, you're able to balance. Balancing becomes easier. You're never going to master it, but I think it just becomes easier because you now see what's important, not only in your life, but the individuals who share this life with you.
Have you ever been in a position where your values are tested because there is an opportunity that will help you scale, grow, but it doesn't necessarily align with what you had in mind?
Yeah, but we just say no. Just say no.
Okay.
Yeah, it has to align with our mission and our values because we're not counting zeros at this point. So if it doesn't make sense, if it doesn't align, I mean, we've had individual companies who wanted to place items in the kit, right, which promotes them.
Yeah.
We're not going to do that. No.
Why not?
Well, because we're not selling something. We're providing a resource and a tool to help alleviate a situation. We're not selling something, so we're not going to do that.
Where do you go from here? How do you grow? Do you want to grow the brand with other products? Is that something that you
We do. So we have new products coming out, right? We have a disposable pillowcase that has all these interactive games that will be used in emergency, pre-surgery, acute care. We also have exam paper that's coming out next month. So we have new items that we're introducing. The first responder kit for kids. We have incredible items in there. And we're always looking to fit items that make sense based on the geographic location, right? So we're just going to keep trying to make it more and more suitable to the individuals that need these products.
What advice would you give someone who is just starting out, thinking, let's think back all the way to having an idea, and they know, the one thing they know is, I want to build something that of course makes money, but also has an impact?
Give. There's no competition in giving, right? There's no competition in that. So if you want to compete, we all win in that situation. So I always preach that you can always give before you sell, which will turn into a sale. There was an opportunity, when I first got my product in, I was watching the news and the Salvation Army was building a new wing, 60 beds. I just spent $70,000 bringing in, bootstrapped, my own product in a container. And God said, or the universe said, you should donate some sheets to the shelter. Now, I ain't made a dime yet, right? So I donated 70 sheets to the Salvation Army in Charlotte. And the news was there.
Right.
And the director, the mayor, everybody loved it. And I realized that's the path we're about to be on. That's the path that we should go on. And although I didn't make a dime, I've made a whole lot more dimes because of that. So I sowed a seed, and it has multiplied to the point that I'm here with you today. You better not start crying.
I know, I'm not gonna cry. I said before this I was gonna cry before to get it out. But it's just such an amazing product, and it really gets me because I was telling you this, a year ago I lost my mom to cancer, and we were at the hospital a lot. Like at one point I knew all of the, doctors there and everything. And one of the things that always got to me was the kids that were there as well.
Yeah.
And we had to spend a Christmas, like a holiday evening there, and the kids would sew, like they were knitting pillows, or they'd knit little stuffed animals. The kids themselves being also in unfortunate situations, and they'd bring that to us, and I just, seeing that connection between your product and what I know it's doing, the impact it's having. Yeah. That's also connected to why you're here. You're a Force for Good winner. What does that mean to you? What does being a Force for Good winner mean to you?
It's validation. It just puts fuel on the fire. I think we were a cruise boat, but now we're about to be a rocket. So You know, we're going to keep doing it. And now we have to hold that name. We have to represent Amazon. Right. And that's what we're going to do.
Thank you so much.
I appreciate it. Thank you as well.
We have a little bit more time, and I want to ask some questions that I could have missed. But looking back, all the journey you've had at this point, what is one thing you think you would have done differently?
I would have took my time. The learning curve, I spent a lot of money because I wanted the product now. And so I made some decisions that cost me a lot of money, right? Like a good example is, so I sell my sheets on Amazon for $30, right? That's the retail.
Okay.
And what I learned after a few containers is that I should have had my manufacturing costs around $6, $7, which I have now, right? But I was in such a hurry that I paid $14 for my first container. So I say I sold them H to C, hand to customer, out the back of my car, bazaars, church events, wherever I could. I sold 3,000 units. I didn't have any margins for retail, right? So I just did not take my time. So I spent a lot of money because I just didn't take the time to learn, to talk to individuals who are already in the trade, learn from them and so forth.
Where do you spend the most amount of money right now? Is it marketing, R&D, or in the product itself?
Bringing the product in.
What does marketing look like for Playtime Adventures? Or do you not
We're
need
blessed.
it that much because it's like
we get great marketing.
Self-explanatory, you got it.
Every event we do, we have at least 3 TV stations there. We're a community initiative, so, and it's first responders or it's hospitals. So we always get good press.
And at this point, with all of the learning curves and everything you've already gone through and learned, what would you say is the part that you like doing the best?
Oh, this part, being around all these entrepreneurs. I love it. It's great energy. I'm gonna talk to each and every one of you, learn from you, be a sponge here, and then take that back and implement it into our company.
I have just 2 more questions for you.
You better not.
Just 2. I'm not gonna ask, okay? We're not gonna start crying, everyone. I promise. I can't promise that. What do the next 5 years look like for you for Playtime Adventures?
So I believe that every hospital should have our interactive bedding. I believe that every first responder in every city should have a set of our kits in the back of their car. And we do that through you guys. We work with community partners, we work with small businesses. So if that's something you want to do with your city, this is a plug, get at me, let's talk. But that's our goal, is just to keep dealing with what's not gonna go away. Kids in hospitals and kids having to deal with, emergencies and trauma.
And I lied, I have 2 more questions. But I want to just briefly go back to how you've been able to learn through selling in the Amazon store. How often are you looking at numbers, data, all of that to be able to know if you're in the right direction in terms of how you present the product in the Amazon store?
Probably every other day.
Okay, so you're very much on it all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And what would you say are some of the biggest, I don't want to call them mistakes because you learn anyways, but what are some of the biggest learnings you've had through trying something new and seeing it not go the way you went when it comes to selling in the Amazon store?
Like everybody, probably ad spend. Trying to keep that ad spend, under a certain number, right? Acquisition cost, per customer and so forth. So I'm still trying to learn that. I got a 45-minute meeting tomorrow to go over that.
So not a plug-in, but also something you can do at Accelerate.
So, just how do we manage that in our budget?
How big is your team?
6.
I'm sorry, also lied. I have more questions. How do you keep all of your team motivated with this mission in mind?
I think our team is special because they don't work there because of me. They work there because of what we do.
See, it's because the whole thing is just too easy, man. Like,
I know, I told you.
And I feel like so many people wish they could. It's not easy.
Right.
Being an entrepreneur, having a product, but being able to be in a position where you have a product that is not just like a great product, but is also, you directly see the impact, is rare, I feel. Not everybody gets that. You can go in person and see people using your product, which I think is an amazing thing. So my last question for you is, for the people that are here with us right now, today, any last words or anything you'd like to transmit in terms of what it means to be an entrepreneur who is also a force for good?
That's a great question. I know for Playtime Adventures, like I said, I think it's fuel, right, on our fire to keep doing what we're doing. I think if you're a business, I challenge you to try to donate one of your units maybe a week or per month, right? And let's think about it like this. If all these vendors in here all gave one of their units per month to an organization, that we would make a difference, right? So maybe challenge yourself to try to give. Don't look for anything in return. Don't look for any media coverage or whatever. Just give.
I want to end it there, but I just also want to say that, is there another way to give that is not giving away your product?
Yeah, volunteer. Yep, volunteer.
Just give and volunteer. And with that,
or support. Support others, share their stuff, like their page. A lot of times that's fuel, that's energy to see that people just liked your picture, right? Just go out of your way, you know, just like stuff, you know, and people like that. It gives them energy.
It all comes back too.
It does. Yeah, we made it. Almost.
Thank you so much. Thank you for Playtime Adventures. Thank you for what you're doing.
Hey, listen.
For talking to me and us not starting to cry. We could have gotten there.
It took a team for us to create Playtime Adventures.
I know.
And it takes a team for us to get the word out. You're part of our team.
Stop me. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much for being with us.
Yeah,
and thank you everyone for joining us on this
conversation.